But let's not forget why you're up there. To watch really bad movies. And now, a Dr. Clayton Forrester presentation, Attack of the Giant Leeches.
This time we watch Season 4, Episode 6, Attack of the Giant Leeches.
Cloris Leachman, she's going to be real big in this one.
And it's got a short, Undersea Kingdom, Chapter 1. But first, Chris, any follow-up from our last episode?
We do have a bit of follow-up, although first, and we're going to be brief about this, I think, but, we do this show about MST3K, a TV show that was made in the beautiful state of Minnesota, where many of the people involved in the show still live and are currently actively resisting the terrible things that are being done to the people of that state. And I think I speak for both of us when I say that we are sad, frustrated, and angry that this is being done to them. And we are inspired and awed and kind of also not surprised that Minnesota has resisted so effectively and with such caring in their hearts. So everybody out there, keep up the good work.
Yes. And one of the things that's lovely to see is how some of the makers of MST3K are using their public platform to put messages forth of anger and frustration, but also just to make this issue become something that is more known and that the resistance is more known. So thank you to those MST3K makers who are out there spreading the word.
Yeah. Moving on from that, I suppose, we did get some messages after our last episode. First off, we got a lovely little note from, I don't know how this listener pronounces their name, but I don't know if it's Michael or Mikkel or Miguel or what, but they write in to say, I just wanted to mention that I really appreciate your creativity in these theme squad closing segments. Never thought I'd hear it played on a penny whistle.
Aw, good job, Theme Squad.
Theme Squad, I don't know who that could be. Theme Squad, having come up with now 190 by the time you hear this, variations on a dinky little tune, really appreciates hearing every once in a while that, oh man, all that effort is worth it. We also got a message from devoted listener Tim, a.k.a. Tim from the Fiasco family, another lovely podcast here on Megaphonic. Tim writes in to ask, would you not consider King Kong a kaiju?
Ooh.
Arguably the first globally renowned example of the genre in film.
I mean, King Kong has been kind of folded into the Godzilla universe.
Yep.
There are Kong versus Godzilla movies out there.
But in terms of the question of a British kaiju film or something like that, with kaiju films coming from outside of Japan, the argument could be made that King Kong is one of them. And certainly King Kong is part of the inspiration behind Godzilla.
I'm thinking now of the Waiting for Gorgo short that we linked to at the end of our last episode, where the department that was trying to prevent these sorts of things was the Department of Monsters and Oversized Animals. And I wonder if King Kong would fall into the oversized animals or the monster category, and whether it even matters. But a very fun side discussion can be had.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that people have argued one way or the other, depending on how exactly they're thinking of what kaiju means. Obviously, King Kong in some ways fits the bill. And obviously, sometimes you're interested in a particular historical context. And it's fun. We get to argue about things that don't necessarily mean that much, and it can be fun. So that's nice.
Yes, it's nice to argue about things that don't have to do with destroying the world.
Indeed. And on another note entirely, news dropped right before our previous episode dropped. Oh boy, this is old news for everybody, but MST3K has been sold.
What does this exactly mean? MST3K is sold.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? It's been sold to the parent company that is basically Shout. Shout, of course, has owned half of MST3K for a long time. They've been as far as I can tell from the outside, a reasonably good co-owner of it. Joel's not stepping away entirely. He's going to linger on as a creative consultant, apparently, but he has sold off his half of MST3K and presumably has got an even nicer retirement nest egg now for that. Who knows what that means? It sounds like the company that bought it is hoping to do more stuff with it, but whether that means new episodes or just, coming up with new ways of keeping the brand alive, who knows?
Yeah, I guess we'll see in the future. It will be interesting to see how that affects the brand going forward and whether that means we get new episodes.
Yeah. Also, of course, Shout and its parent company are run by a venture capitalist firm now, and that rarely ends well. Who knows? We'll see. Whatever happens, we've still got something like 230 episodes of MST3K that we can enjoy, even if they don't make any more. Frankly, we've been spoiled by how many we've gotten.
And over such a long period of time, too. The riffing gets to be so varied because of that.
Indeed. So let's talk about one of those episodes now. Well, wait, hold on a second before we get to that. Editor Chris stopping in here because once again, breaking news has happened. Hey, I'm sure you heard this by now as well, but it turns out that we do know what Shout is planning on doing with the MST3K franchise, or at least we know one of the things that they're planning on doing because they've just announced that Riff Tracks will be given the keys to the kingdom to put out 4 episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000, the Riff Tracks experiments with Mike and Bill and Kevin and Mary Jo as Pearl, and that's going to be coming in October, it looks like, but you can support it now. They say that they're going to make the episodes no matter how much money they raise, and also I am not entirely clear how people will be able to watch the episodes if they don't back now, but I'm sure there'll be some way of doing it. Riff Tracks and Shout both know how to make videos available to people for purchase. So look forward to that, I suppose. We will talk about that more later. Let's get back to this episode. My goodness, can no more breaking news happen before this episode gets out? This time we watch Season 4, Episode 6, Attack of the Giant Leeches.
But first, surprise! A short. Undersea Kingdom, Chapter 1, Beneath the Ocean Floor. Crash is welcomed into the Navy, plays football, and he MMA fights too. While surely winning his fight, Crash gets news from a professor, through his son, that there's been earthquakes, and they must be stopped. This leads Crash and a small crew to dive beneath the ocean in a submarine and find the lost city of Atlantis. The professor suspected this would happen and that Atlantis made a fabulous dome trapping air underwater while it sank slowly long, long ago. We cut to a conflict within the world of Atlantis. Fighting has broken out because someone named Unga Khan is trying to take over Atlantis. His motivation? He wants to use his power to destroy the upper world so Atlantis can rise again. Literally. Crash and friends, the upper worlders, just want to stop the earthquakes that could destroy the world. Somehow the Atlanteans draw their submarine to them, and Crash and his crew leave the submarine behind to explore this new world under the sea. Meanwhile, Unga Khan sends a bunch of his folks to capture and or destroy Crash and the crew. Crash has everyone else hide while he greets the Atlantean soldiers with his fists. Crash thwarts the soldiers and gathers his group to head back to the submarine, but one of them freaks out and starts shooting the Atlantean robots that followed the soldiers that came to capture the Earthlings. So the robots fire back too. Crash and the professor's kid climb up a mountain only to have the Atlanteans aim a disintegrator at him. The mountain starts melting all around them, and the Atlanteans have bombs, too. I wonder if Crash will make it through to the next chapter. The end.
And now for our feature presentation. Dave and his wife, Liz, live down in the swamps of the Florida Everglades. Dave and Liz are having marital problems. Honestly, it seems like she can hardly stand him, and all the guys in town are making fun of him for it. So when he finds her making out with his old friend Cal, well, Dave gets real upset and chases them around the swamp with a gun and makes them jump in the water just to get them real scared and teach them a lesson. Unfortunately, the lesson is a little too successful because Liz and Cal are soon attacked by giant leeches. That wasn't Dave's plan, not at all, but, there had been rumors of strange creatures in the swamp, and some people had been mysteriously disappearing, but nobody believed it was really real, and no one believes Dave either. So he's sent to jail for murder and soon takes his own life. Yikes. There's a game warden in town named Steve who's trying to figure out what's going on. His wife, Nan, makes a lot of coffee to help him out. Like, a lot. Oh, and Nan's father, Doc, is also there. And Steve's friend, Mike. They're all kind of bland and unmemorable characters, except for Nan, but only because she makes so much coffee. I feel like there's a life lesson there. If you're worried that you're kind of boring, just start making a lot of coffee, like a lot of it, all the time, night and day, and suddenly you'll be the most memorable person in your friend group. Anyway, Steve and friends set off a bomb in the swamp and discover that there's an underwater chamber, like a cavern with breathable air and everything, where the leeches have been taking their victims and, I guess, sucking them dry. It's too late to save any of them, alas, but Steve and friends managed to kill the giant leeches, so movie's over. The end.
Meanwhile, on the Satellite of Love, there's clowns on the hex screen. Apparently, they've been there for a while because everyone is freaking out. Joel made it happen, and thankfully, he finds a way to banish the clowns from view. Tom sends them off with a clown haiku. Dr. Forrester and Frank have been reading self-help books, and it inspires Dr. F to employ the healing power of leeches to curb Frank's non-existent smoking habit. That leech will suck his blood and any desired smoke right out of him. Joel's invention is an Insti-Adolescent kit, which turns Tom into a moody teenager. It contains some grease to smear on one's skin and in one's hair, a spray to make your voice crack, pimples, and a sampling of lines like, "No one understands me," and "Who was in my room?" It certainly is easy to turn someone into a moody teenager who takes offense at the most innocuous interaction. It even has Tom saying to Joel, "You're not my dad." Classic. After the short, the crew reflects on the serial's portrayal of folks bent on world domination. Joel asks Tom and Crow how they would dress, what their threat to humanity would be, and what they would do once they took over the world. And while I admire Crow's desire to wear a swimsuit made out of string cheese and declare March Liza Month, I thrill to the outlandish outfit Dr. F has put together for his world domination bid. It's a mashup of Captain Hook with a Carmen Miranda headpiece. Mwah! Perfection! Our next segment sees the crew sipping coffee together, reminiscing about their dreams. Joel, adorably, dreams about them living together in a duplex on Earth. GPC flies in color. Tom dreams he has a girlfriend who turns into a gargoyle, so that's cool. Crow dreams of a little cafe in Paris. What was the name of that waiter? Oh, yes, Jean-Luc. In the movie, we've watched hillbillies speculate about swamp killings, so back in the Satellite, we get Joel, Crow, and Tom dressed in overalls with fake buck teeth and pipes talking about why movies make the goofuses do the dangerous things. They sing, "I'm a danger to myself and others," call each other Uncle Dad, and light some dynamite on deck. And shucks, but they done blowed themselves up. At the movie's end, the bots wonder if the leeches in the movie are big dumb creatures or if they're actually smart. Do they just want to kill, or do they have some crazy scheme to steal everyone's antiques? Though it's hard to say, they do suggest where leeches fall on the dumb to smart scale, and it's pretty far down. They suggest Chili's would be their favorite restaurant without realizing it was a chain, and that they'd watch at least 4 Police Academy movies in the theater. Thankfully, we have a letter to clean the palate. Oh, and the leech has sucked Frank dry, and now the leech wants to be a producer. What do you think, sirs?
Let's see. We've already talked about Atlantis before, though that was before your time, I think. I think we mostly talked about that with Beth. I remember her being into it.
I mean, who's not into Atlantis? Underwater Kingdom? No. We totally talked about it, Chris, because I have such a soft spot in my heart for the Donovan song.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
So we don't need to touch upon that again. Let's see.
No.
We've also talked about Hee Haw before on the show.
Yeah, we've talked about Hee Haw.
So that a danger to myself and others. It just seems pretty Hee Haw coded to me.
I mean, and they make some riffs directly about Hee Haw, like this is the writer's room right here, you know?
Yeah.
So that's come up before. Mm-hmm. So many of these things have come up before. They riff about the Hummel figurines. They riff about the sinking of the Fitzgerald.
The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Yep. That came up.
Yeah, and they also riff about the Fitzcarraldo movie.
Yep. That's right.
We've talked about that.
It's almost like we've done nearly 200 of these.
Oh my gosh. And it's almost like our riffs, the ones that we react to the most, are the greatest hits, right? Every time I'm watching the show now, I'm like, oh, that's one of Chris's favorites.
Yeah. Well, actually, so this episode, I don't know how you felt about this episode overall. I think it's fine and kind of boring for the most part. The movie's a real nothing burger of a movie.
I mean, the movie is the Corman special that it is absolutely sold to be. It fills the time until you get to see it on the double billing with the House of Usher. But honestly, Chris, this was one of my favorite episodes to watch in a long time.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. It just hit like all of my funny bones. Like, okay, both of them, right? But like every single riff just kind of was spot on for me. Maybe it's the nostalgia of the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the world falling to pieces around us. It was just a perfect timed episode for me. It was so funny. It was so charming to see Joel with the bots. And I mean, you know, Dr. F in a Carmen Miranda headpiece pretty much sells the whole episode for me.
Nope, that's certainly good. There's plenty I like about the episode. It has one of my favorite jokes ever right off the top that I even forgot it came from MST3K originally because I've known it so long it feels like I was born with this joke in my head. And it's a terrible joke in the sense of it being dark.
Okay.
But it's at the very beginning when Mike, as a clown, says to GPC, "Hey, little girl, would you like a salted nut roll?"
Hey, little girl, would you like a salted nut roll?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm sure you've heard me just say that line occasionally.
Sure. Why not? You might have said it continuously throughout the state of Minnesota while we were driving through. Who knows?
Yeah, I might have done that on our little road trip. I love that line. It's such a perfect joke. It's such an awful joke.
Yeah, especially to come from the creepy clowns when they're just like, they all seem to be at their wits' end that this thing is still up on the hex screen and unable to sleep. Oh, it's so much.
But other than that, like, and there's plenty of other good stuff I enjoy, but like the thing that I remember about this episode most is the theme songs that they put words to for the movie and the short. Like, I'm always thinking of,
Hey, it's the Undersea Kingdom for you and for me, and it's fine.
or Attack
Of the Giant Leeches.
like that whole bit. They're both like classic. And
Yes.
that's what I think of when I think of this episode. And then I think of the Killer Shrews because I always confuse it with the Killer Shrews because I like that episode more.
No, you're right. The Killer Shrews is a far more solid episode. I mean, can you get better than the dogs? The dogs wearing killer shrew costumes. I mean, it's almost the people wearing trash bags with little like donuts on them. Sure, that's close to dogs in a killer shrew costume, but not in the same ballpark.
And we get almost 5 whole frames of the giant leeches in this movie.
Almost. Pretty much what we get is some like swaying reeds and some ripples in the water. It could have been anything. That might have been a duck.
But I do like Bruno Vasoda, who plays Dave, the unhappy husband at the beginning of it. He's in a bunch of these films. I think this is one of his star turns. He really gets to be on there for a while. And I don't know, the sort of Tennessee Williams of it all.
Yeah.
Although I don't think there is actually a Tennessee Williams play that's set in the swamp. I'm no expert. I don't know.
Who can say? I mean, you got the South going on there, but that's not the same as the swamp.
Yeah, but anyways, that sort of bad marriage and desire that's going on in the heat in the South, that makes sense.
Totally. And that whole, like, who I am with my friends and then apologizing for who I am with my friends in front of my wife, who still treats me like crap anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough one. That husband-wife dynamic, would not want that.
No, but it is kind of fun to watch, and I think they both put in a reasonably good performance of it, considering Corman and budget and all that.
Yep.
It's just that, like, the giant leeches are nothing.
No.
and the scientists going after the giant leeches are nothing except for as I said, the woman who makes all the coffee, who is, bless her, bless everybody who makes coffee like that.
It's true. It's why the segment where they do all of the coffee reminiscing together is so lovely for me. I love reminiscing around a cup of coffee. I mean, I'm not bringing it with me onto my, rowboat to go out into the swamp like Nan is, but maybe I'll consider doing that in the near future, Chris. It really is dynamic.
Did you ever get into a phase of, like, carrying a thermos with you, like a thermos of coffee or a thermos of tea or something?
The only time I've really brought a thermos of something with me was something like a thermos of hot cocoa down to one of the parks inside of the area on the brief intervals where it snows in Portland. Otherwise, I mean, pretty much everywhere you go when you live in a city, you're able to get a hot beverage. So I don't really need to bring it with.
No, it's true. I remember I was once going to, like, a little summer picnic with friends, and a friend had brought a thermos that was full of Americanos, not the coffee beverage, but the cocktail.
I don't know the cocktail Americano. What's in it?
I don't remember. I didn't know it either. It's a very simple cocktail. I think it's got one of the bitter things in it, Campari or something like that. I should look it up right now because
it made everything wonderful for your outing.
It was a lovely surprise. Vermouth, Campari, club soda, and orange. Very simple, very classic. Wasn't going to get you drunk, but it was going to give you a lovely time at the picnic. And I did not expect it, and it was so delightful. Oh, I that's all I remember about that picnic. It was probably full of bugs. Who cares? I had a lovely, I had a lovely surprise cocktail.
Absolutely. And surprise cocktail, almost as good as a surprise short, huh?
I suppose so. Yeah. At least one with a kicky tune like this one.
Yeah, no, we'll take a kicky tune, that's for sure. So, and that Crash Corrigan, he's just so manly, just fighting everybody he runs into. Everybody's so excited to be near Crash Corrigan when he fights.
Indeed. Well, we might talk more about Crash Corrigan in a bit, but, this short is from 1936, which is that the earliest? I don't remember if it's the earliest thing they ever did. I don't think it is. I think something else is a little bit older, but it's still really early. And there's a moment in the short where Joel looks at this huge stadium full of people who are there to watch the football game that crashes in and says, they're all dead now, of course. And
yes.
Here's the thing. That episode came out in 92. The movie's from 36. So this is not 60 years later. Any 20-year-olds in there would be in their 70s. Actually, a certain number of them are still alive. Not now, but when he's saying that, a certain number were still very much alive.
Sure. Although, I mean, they were also people who were in the Navy in the mid-30s before World War II. Joel's got some good statistics on his side.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying they're all alive.
But potentially, they very well could have been in 1992.
There were people in that audience who were still alive, and maybe even one of them watching. Who knows?
Yes. That's a letter that I would have loved to have them read on there. I'm sorry, I was in the audience watching Crash Corrigan that day. I'm still alive, sir. I'm still alive.
That's what that Pearl Jam song's about. Charlotte?
Chris?
Tell me about the leeches.
Oh my gosh, Chris. Leeches are amazing.
Did we talk about leeches when we did Leech Woman?
I don't know.
That was so long ago. I should look it up. I forgot to look it up. But I do want to hear more about leeches because, frankly, I'm never going to get enough. I'm never going to get enough leeches.
Was I even on the show when you guys did Leech Woman?
No, you weren't on it. So you can have your swipe. That was episode 23.
Oh my gosh. You weren't even a voice on it at that point in time. You were a producer.
Oh, I've looked up my notes and Beth pretended she was going to talk about leeches, but then we pointed out that there were no leeches in the film.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's about a woman who's a leech, not actual leeches. So we saved leech facts for this episode many years later. Here we go.
Because there actually were leeches in Attack of the Giant Leeches. Who knew?
Were there?
I mean, they did just look like ponchos, and the little sucker marks on everybody's body looked like the suckers that were on an octopus, right? That's what they were talking about through the whole thing. And you know what? When leeches bite you, that's not what it looks like.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't take this for a documentary.
But leeches do have like little suckers. They have suckers on one end of their body, and on the other end of their body, they have their mouthpiece.
What?
Which kind of looks like it suctions onto your body, but it doesn't. It bites in.
All right. I'm already confused because I thought they bit rather than like suctioned like a tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
But I also assumed that on the other side of the leech was like a butt. Or not a butt, but like a cloaca, a hole, some sort of device, a hole through which you could relieve yourself.
Sure. The other end of a leech is a small sucker that helps with movement, and it helps with stability of the animal. So, I mean, first off, we should say leeches are a worm.
Sure.
Leeches are a worm. They're a segmented worm, just like earthworms, but they don't quite move in the same sort of way. Leeches have a sucker on one end that kind of stands them up, and then they move their bodies forward, and then they unsuck their back end and move towards their front and move along that way. That's if you're a land leech.
Yeah, wait, I was going to say, because like I think of leeches from this movie and from Stand By Me. Oof. So I think of them as kind of wet.
And even the land leeches live inside of kind of a wet area, right? But leeches live everywhere.
Oh.
Except for Antarctica. They live in the ocean, so they live in salt water as well as fresh water. They live in caves because there's moist areas of caves. And they live on land in places where it is moist. They really love a good tropical rainforest. And they can live, like even when they're in the water, they can live kind of in the muck at the bottom of some shallow water, or they can kind of be inside of the vegetation that's inside of the water. So they're all over the place.
Wait. All right. So this actually, I think we've already answered one of the questions I was hoping you would answer.
Oh.
Leeches breathe air.
Yes.
So the fact that they have a little cavern, a little Atlantis of their own underneath the swamp water, that makes sense that the leeches would go there because they actually do want to breathe in addition to keeping their prey alive in the movie. I know that they're not real.
Are you sure, Chris?
I'm pretty sure. But I admit part of me was trying to think, are leeches worms or are they eels?
And they're worms.
And they're worms. So this all makes sense. Okay. All right.
But they're worms that can live in really extreme climates as well. Like, I was super shocked to learn that worms have been found to survive like negative temperatures, like into the negative 90s Fahrenheit. Like, not living and working in that, but they can freeze and then come back to life even after having been frozen for a long period of time. Because they don't have to, like, this is one of the other things that's amazing to me. They don't have to eat a lot.
Well, okay. I mean, this movie begs to differ.
Sure. Well, sort of.
Because this movie, they go through so many people in such a short period.
Yes, but that's because when a leech eats, what it likes to do, if it is a parasitic leech anyway, right? If it's a parasitic blood eater, what it does is it latches on and it wants to feed until it grows to like 5 or 6 times its size in weight. But then it detaches and it just stops for a while and it digests for a really long time. And leeches don't have to eat, like they don't have to eat for a month. Sometimes leeches can live for like a year and a half without eating.
So there was a period of time when I didn't have a lot of money, and there was a place this is when I lived in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place that used to have a really great all-you-could-eat salad bar. That place has since closed, but it was very affordable, but like not every day affordable. So I would like save up. And then when I was really feeling like I hadn't had vegetables in a month, I would go there and I would eat so much salad and I would absolutely gorge myself with vegetables. And then I'd go home and lie down for a few months and let the vegetables sort of, so I totally sympathize.
You were like a leech on that salad bar.
100% salad bar leech.
There you go. Which seems much better than a blood-sucking leech.
It's different. It's just different.
It's true. I mean, I think it's also important to note for listeners, not all leeches are bloodsuckers.
Wait.
Like not even half of the species of leeches that we know about are bloodsuckers.
What do the other ones suck?
So some of them are scavengers. So they don't eat fresh blood, but they scavenge things that are around.
What, they find discarded blood from hospital blood banks?
Yes, just like Angel in the Buffy series. They're taking blood from blood banks. No, just like all of our other like scavengers that are going around helping with the, disintegration of dead things inside of the wild, right? And bringing them back to the soil. Like leeches are a part of that. And there are also leeches who are predators.
Okay, but they're not predating for the blood.
No, they're just like regular predators, like they are going to eat animals whole. And by animals, I mean like they're eating other worms.
Oh.
So these leeches are predators that go out and eat other worms.
Of course they'd have to eat other worms. Nothing else would fit in a worm except a smaller worm. They're all long and narrow.
Or, insect larvae, fun stuff like that.
I suppose you could fill up on that. Little hors d'oeuvres.
Apparently, there's even a leech whose favorite meal is a snail. This is one of the bloodsuckers, though, but it loves the escargot. It will wrap itself around, and then it just sucks the body out of the snail.
That is how you eat a snail, I'm told. I've never done it.
I feel like I have, but it's been so long I don't really remember. I just remember everything being butter and garlic.
I'm sure there's leeches that, scavenge for butter.
Sure, why not? No, I mean, our leeches very much are carnivores in some sort of way, right? Like they are predating other animals, and then they are scavengers or they are sucking your blood. That's primarily the food diet of a leech.
So, can they help with your smoking habit?
Alas, I have no idea. I don't think that medical science has tried to answer this question.
Charlotte, this is a great opportunity for you. First, take up smoking.
Oh my
Get real addicted. Second, go get some leeches and leech the smokes away.
I mean, I totally feel like there are already people who are addicted to smoking, but I'm not sure that they would actually consent to like a medical study involving leeches, right?
I bet some of them would.
If they thought it would actually cure their smoking habit, maybe. Yeah. But I do want to, we'll come back and talk about leeches more a little bit later, perhaps. But I want to object to one of the medical things that Dr. F says. So I object. Thank you. The use of leeches for medicine actually is FDA approved.
Ah, well, this was the thing. This is another thing that I do kind of know about leeches and was curious if you'd bring up, because leeches were not used for medicine for a long time. But then I remember basically, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s, they had a comeback and it was like, actually, leeches are better for pulling out blood sometimes than other methods. So we should use them when appropriate. And I was wondering how that had turned out.
So the when appropriate is most particularly for plastic surgery when you have tissue healing happening. So like if you have one of the stories that they talked about on one of the podcasts I listened to learn about leeches. The podcast is called This Podcast Will Kill You. And they did a whole episode on maggots and they did a whole episode on leeches. And they had a firsthand account of somebody who was inside of their residency who went in and saw a person who was post-surgery having their thumb reattached. And they were present when the leeches were attached to the thumb at the site of it being joined back together, because leeches are great for helping with the tissue healing when you have a piece of your body where the blood has started to clot.
Oh.
You can put a leech on there. They have amazing saliva that has like hundreds of different like bioactive substances inside of it that help with anticoagulation, like more than just one, right? The leech uses it because it like puts all this saliva inside of your system and it keeps your blood from clotting so that over the, 20 to 40 minutes that it's feeding on you, it just gets a constant flow of blood, right? Your body's not stopping it.
Yeah, the leech just wants to feed, and so it doesn't want you to clot up, and so it's going to have some defenses for that.
And it also doesn't want you to feel pain while it's doing this, so it also has some painkillers inside of that saliva to keep it from happening as well. So those anticoagulants will go into that tissue that's been damaged and help to take out the blood that's been clotted. Some of the things that are inside of its saliva actually help to destroy clots, and it eats the clots as well. Like, it's an amazing creature for all of this. And so it can promote blood flow to tissue that's been removed from the body and reattached. So it's a big use inside of plastic surgery. But they also use it for trying to remove blood clots. They'll use a leech for that. They also use it for varicose veins. They can also use it like when you have reduced blood flow to your tissue and it starts to, your tissue starts to die. The leeches can help to improve the flow of blood because it stops that coagulating of your blood.
Wow.
I know, right? Isn't that amazing?
None of this came up in the movie.
No, I don't think that we really had people there who were in the middle of plastic surgery, right? Or, like Nan wasn't talking about her varicose veins as she was drinking coffee. I mean, it said that they might help with osteoarthritis too, Chris.
What?
I know. Well, I mean, part of what the difficulty with osteoarthritis for people who suffer from it is that they have so much pain from the inflammation and it decreases your mobility inside of your joints. Well, one of the things that's inside of the saliva of leeches is something that helps with inflammation.
Oh, I thought for a second there you were going to tell me that they'd found some bone-sucking leeches.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool, but
No,
it wouldn't be cool.
It wouldn't be that cool. We'd abuse that power pretty quick.
Would we? We're so good with things, aren't we? Not really. There were a couple of other things I wanted to mention that were just super cool about leeches.
Sure.
One is that like earthworms, leeches are hermaphrodites, but when they come together for reproduction, if there's leeches can, fertilize themselves, sure. But when they come together, each leech fertilizes the other leech so that both of them become parents and produce eggs.
Oh.
And my understanding with earthworms is that sometimes they fight to find out who will fulfill which gender role in reproduction. That's not how leeches work. They both fertilize each other and they both leave with fertilized eggs, which is kind of cool. And there are some leeches who do parental care. Like they carry a cocoon of eggs with them. And when the cocoon hatches and they have all these little leech babies, they like bring it around for their first meals and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's just wild to think of leech mommies and daddies with their leech children.
Do the leech children leech off the leech mommies like they were breastfeeding?
So unclear. But there was a description in one of the many things that I read that leech parents can give nutrients to their leech children through the skin. And I'm not sure if that's because it wasn't clear from what I read, whether that was the parents like giving out that nourishment or whether that was the leech children taking it from the parents. But I don't have the sense that it's like breastfeeding.
Could you take a leech and then attach another leech to that leech so that while the leech was sucking up the blood, the other leech was sucking up its blood, and then attach another leech to that and make a whole daisy chain?
Are you human centipeding The leeches?
I'm thinking if you get enough and you sort of attach the first leech to the final leech and Ouroboros it, then you could have perpetual motion.
I'm not sure because, like, a leech that is hungry will eat other leeches. And I feel like, I mean, again, based on my very limited knowledge, I feel like one leech would, in fact, kill another leech, so the chain would be broken.
All right. Well, more testing is needed. More science needs to happen in this area.
It's certainly the case that, like, in the history of the use of leeches in medical studies, like, most of that stuff was not actually helpful. Although at one point in time they were used to cure hemorrhoids. Like, Napoleon used leeches for his hemorrhoids.
You know, you say that, and this is now ringing a bell.
Is it?
I think I have heard about this one before, although I did not remember it because I think I tried to flush that away, tried to get rid of that memory.
It totally makes sense that in that time period, a doctor who was using leeches for everything would use a leech on Napoleon for that. Also, leeches are being used by biologists in order to survey biodiversity inside of areas.
What does that mean? I mean, I know what that means. What is it? How? What? How? What?
So a lot of the ways that scientists will gather data about what animals are inside of an area has to do with, you know, going out and doing observations, or maybe they set up trail cameras or something like that. But leeches keep their blood meal in their bodies for months. So if you capture a leech, it contains the DNA blood of all of the animals inside of the area that it's eaten off of inside of the last couple months. So you can take a leech and find out what's inside of the area by surveying the DNA that's contained in its blood. And it will actually eat animals that you might never see on a camera. And that's so cool.
Nice. It's like an owl pellet, but wet.
Yes, it's like an owl pellet, but it's surveying lots of different animals inside of the area rather than just like what an owl eats, right? Like it has a much more diverse diet is what I mean.
Yes,
Because it will eat amphibians and it'll eat reptiles, it'll eat mammals, it'll eat birds. Like it eats all of those things.
Now, how is a leech going to fly into the air and eat a bird?
Birds aren't always in the air, buddy. They can't all be, condors that are in the air like 2/3 of no, albatross. The albatross, right? It flies for months and months. No. Birds that are inside of wet grass in the ground, it only takes seconds for the leech to latch on.
Also something I learned from Stand By Me. And I suppose that's also true in this movie, too.
It's true. Also, if you get bitten by a leech because of all those anticoagulants, your wound is not going to close up for a really long time. It's kind of gross.
And what I've always heard is that you let it finish because you don't want to tear out the teeth because it's biting into you. So you let it finish and then it lets go. And then you walk away and then you deal with the anticoagulants later. But
although there was a hiker in Australia who has a whole blog about leeches because she loves hiking in places with leeches and she appreciates the leech. And what she wrote was that there's also a scratch and flick method where you can detach the leech and flick it. But that's only for a very small leech to just scratch the head off of your body. And then flick it. But they're like, yeah, don't yank it off. Don't burn it. Don't squeeze it. You're just going to make it worse.
And don't go to Australia.
Oh, I mean, among the many frightening things in Australia, you can add leeches to the list. But that's not where the biggest leech is in the world. It's in the Amazon. Guess how big it gets, Chris?
Is it as big as a person inside of a Glad bag?
Thankfully not. But it's larger than the leech that Dr. F originally attaches to Frank. It's like 18 inches long or about 45 centimeters.
Yikes.
I know, but it's in the Amazon, so whew. But it is a bloodsucker.
I mean, I'm not a size queen about it. Well, I feel like we should say a little something about the short. There's another chapter that we're going to be watching someday, so don't need to talk about how the movie ends just yet, but I figured since we've already talked about Atlantis, I was trying to find something to talk about, and it turns out that the star of our serial is kinda interesting.
So the star of the short plays the character named Crash.
Yes.
But it also looked in the credits like Crash was part of his real name.
Well, yes. So the guy playing Crash Corrigan is Crash Corrigan, who took his name from the character in the serial Undersea Kingdom.
Oh.
He didn't like his last name very much, his original one. And so when he sort of took on his stage name, he just took it from the character he was playing all of a sudden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's back up a little bit before that fateful moment.
Sure.
You must admit that's an intriguing detail that makes you want to know a little bit more about the guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was very weird to look at the opening credits and be like, Crash Corrigan is playing Crash Corrigan. Okay, let's roll with it, buddies.
He started out as a personal trainer to the stars.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But also, he owned a gorilla suit.
I mean, good for so many things. Uh-huh.
It's especially good if you want to get cast in a movie as a guy in a gorilla suit.
Yeah. I mean, it does cut down on the costs for the movie.
And so he was in a bunch of early Tarzan movies.
But he didn't go with Tarzan or gorilla as part of his name.
No, because I think if he got credited at all, which he might not have been because they were small parts, so to speak.
Sure.
He may have used his original birth name still at that point. He also had a small role in the gorilla suit in Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, the serial, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The very popular serial that was put out by Universal. So Republic Pictures wanted to put out their own exciting Flash Gordon-like thing. And so they made Undersea Kingdom. And for whatever reason, they ended up getting Crash Corrigan to be the beefy guy. He's pretty beefy in this, huh?
Sure, yeah. I mean, they even start out the serial with letting you see him with his shirt off running around.
They're not shy about showing off his bod. That's sort of what he's there for.
At least until he gets into his Navy uniform, and then he's there for that.
Yeah. So he changed his name and he held on to the Crash Corrigan name for the rest of his life. So that's all great from this character. Although I guess also I saw a story that he was called Crash because when he played football, he just crashed into guys all the time. That was his offensive technique, I suppose. I don't know enough about football or concussions to know if that's a good idea, but hey, it was a different time. Sure.
I mean, it seems like football is about running into people, so crashing seems inevitable.
Yeah. So, okay, he does Undersea Kingdom. It's, fine. It's no Flash Gordon, but it's fine.
Sure.
And then he spends a few years in Westerns because that's what people made in the 30s and early 40s.
After you left space in the Undersea Kingdom, the next place to go was the West.
Exactly. And then the Western work started to dry up because I think we'll agree that although, his pecs are as plush as freshly baked Pillsbury biscuits, that he's maybe not the greatest actor whose face ever shone on the silver screen.
Sure, yes.
So what's a way that you can stay in the movies but not have to worry about acting quite so much?
Be a stuntman?
He did do that. He absolutely did do that. But he had another trick up his sleeve, or rather, he had a sleeve that was another trick. He did a bunch more gorilla suit stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
Including a film where seemingly he got a title role, although he wasn't credited in it, called Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla.
Stop it. That sounds amazing. Did Ed Wood do that?
I mean, you'd think. It's actually a little before Ed Wood's time. I think it's 1951.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah. His last film was It, the Terror from Beyond Space, which apparently was a big influence on a little film called Alien.
Oh, yeah. I can see how that might be the case just based on the title.
Yeah. So that's one thing that you do. But the other thing that you might do is buy a ranch.
I mean, why not both, obviously, right? Good job, Crash. Where'd he buy his ranch? Where is it?
In Simi Valley. He bought a ranch and he built a place that was known as Corriganville Movie Ranch, which, as the name suggests, was both a film set and an amusement park for several decades.
No, amusement park wasn't what was going to be the second thing that I thought that was. Oh my gosh, it's an amusement park?
It's an amusement park, that was open daily, I guess. And if you went to the amusement park, you might have some fancy encounters with movie folk, including Crash Corrigan. He might play out a little Western scene for you.
No way!
Yeah.
It's like going to the Ponderosa Ranch in Lake Tahoe.
It's very much like that, except, of course, that wasn't what was filmed at Corriganville Movie Ranch. Although a lot of other things were. The Lone Ranger TV show was filmed there. Creature from the Black Lagoon, parts of it were filmed there. There's like a pool. There's a pool on it that was good for some of those shots. So you could do that sometimes, apparently. That's what I saw. Also, parts of The African Queen were filmed there in the pool.
We even got a riff about the African Queen in the middle of Attack of the Giant Leeches.
There you go. And apparently also some Star Trek, because Star Trek will film anywhere.
Well, totally. All you got to do is go to the holodeck, right? And you can do whatever you want. Or, oh, let's go down to Earth and back in time so that William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy can do fun things. Good job, Crash Corrigan. What a wonderful thing to be able to provide and still be able to be connected with the movie industry.
What exactly? Until, of course, sad day, divorce. Came upon with a lot of squabbling with his then ex-wife that eventually meant that they had to sell the Corriganville Movie Ranch to Bob Hope.
Oh.
And it became Hope Town.
Oh. Oh.
I mean,
sure.
It's fine, I guess. I don't know.
Were movies still filmed there, or was Bob Hope like, this is my space, guys, out?
Some movies were still filmed there. Some movies are still filmed there, though it is not, it's mostly gone. It is now like a state park or something like that. But occasionally it is used as a film set, like many things in California can be. And in fact, in 2018, it got to play the Spawn Ranch in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's what the movie was about, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Just wild that this, like, what a weird life and a weird legacy to leave behind.
Absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. Like, you start out as a man in a gorilla suit and you end up owning a ranch where movies are made. That's astonishing. What a life. Chris, we have talked so much about Crash Corrigan and leeches, which are two very, very different things. Perhaps you have a final factoid about a third very different thing to triangulate our episode?
We'll see how different it is. So I mentioned early on in the episode that I actually am not as familiar with Tennessee Williams movies and plays as I could be. And so, you know, I could have sat down and watched Night of the Iguana or Streetcar Named Desire or one of those.
Sure.
But instead, I watched Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla.
You did not watch it? Oh my God, that's amazing. How was Crash? Was he wonderful?
He's inside a gorilla suit and he does not get credited for that. But, you know, he does...
lumber around convincingly through the streets of Brooklyn?
Oh, no. None of this happens in Brooklyn. Nothing. The gorilla's not from Brooklyn. Spoiler alert.
The gorilla's not from Brooklyn, nor is he in Brooklyn?
Well, okay. Let me explain the plot of this a little bit.
I think you need to.
So Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo, who are played by Duke Mitchell and Sammy Petrillo, are two nightclub entertainers. And what I mean by that is that they are impersonating Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Of course they are. Mm-hmm.
They fall out of a plane on their way to entertain the troops in Guam, and they land on a Pacific island. Yeah, this movie gets pretty racist.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful woman, Jungle Goddess style, who speaks English, Jungle Goddess style. Her name is Nona, and she's played by a woman with only one name, Jungle Goddess style, this time named Charlita, which if you've ever wanted another nickname, you could go with that one, I suppose.
Sure, yeah. It's not one I've used before.
Anyway, she falls in love with Duke, the Dean Martin one.
Sure, of course. You're not going to fall in love with the Jerry Lewis, let's be honest.
No, that's for her sister.
Of course, yeah.
Who
is played by Bela Lugosi.
No,
okay.
But is played by somebody who is a bit heavyset, which is funny.
Oh, yeah, I remember how that used to be funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the awkward, guy gets that girl.
Yeah. But no, Nona actually turns out also to be quite clever and a scientist, and she works for a scientist who's on the island named Dr. Zabor.
Oh.
You can guess who's playing Dr. Zabor.
Crash Corrigan, of course. No, of course. Bela Lugosi. Yes.
Of course, Bela Lugosi. And Bela Lugosi is a scientist who's working here on primate evolution stuff.
Like the island of Dr. Moreau?
No, not so much vivisection as that. More injecting to change the state. So there's like a chimp that he's working with named Ramona. This is her only film. She's great.
Okay.
She steals a few scenes and maybe is hitting on the Jerry Lewis wannabe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you a lot of this so that you don't have to watch it.
Thank goodness.
Zabor is also like in love with Nona and gets jealous of her relationship with Duke, the new guy. And so he basically figures out that if he injects a serum, he can turn a man into a gorilla because you're doing reverse evolution.
Okay.
That's totally how that would work.
Absolutely. Famously.
Right. So then he injects Duke and Duke turns into a gorilla. And that's the Brooklyn gorilla, I guess, because
Duke was originally from Brooklyn and now the man from Brooklyn became the gorilla on the island.
Exactly.
Man, so does Dr. Zabor get the girl in the end, or does he have to turn her into a gorilla so they can live happily ever after? Or is there a cure? Is there a cure?
Even better. It's all just a dream.
Oh, stop it. Mario needs to wake Luigi up because this has gotten way too crazy.
Again, spoiler alert, I suppose. Don't watch this movie unless you really want to. If this sounds great to you, go for it. It's fine. It's watchable.
I mean, you're making it sound great, Chris. I gotta say.
I know. Hopefully this segment is good and better than the movie, but I don't know. Sammy wakes up in a nightclub in Passaic where it's like time for him and Duke to go on. And he sees all the people from his dream, Wizard of Oz style. And then as he's about to go on stage, the woman who is playing the sister, this scary, heavyset woman,
sure, yeah,
comes over and gives him a big kiss. And after the big kiss, Sammy's like, hey, maybe she's not so bad.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn gorilla.
Oh, my gosh. Was Bela Lugosi in the nightclub then?
Yes, he plays like the compere. He plays like the yeah. He's there as well.
So Bela Lugosi was in Brooklyn.
No, it's in Passaic. It's in Passaic, New Jersey. That's where the nightclub turns out to be. There's only implied Brooklyn in this.
All right, implied Brooklyn.
Here's the fun thing about this, which has nothing to do with Undersea Kingdom or anything. Jerry Lewis hated Sammy Petrillo.
Ooh.
Hated him for trying to steal his act, even though it was clearly like an homage or whatever. Like blacklisted him from anything. He was trying to get on I think it was the Abbott and Costello show, and like Jerry Lewis found out and called up and said, don't you dare. And then Lou Costello had to be like, okay, you can't go on the show. We're still going to pay you. I'm sorry this happened. He's a total jerk. But
my gosh.
So, if you want to watch people doing a Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin impersonation, but you don't want to watch Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, I guess this is your option.
If you've been affected by the issues on this show, if you live in a cave under the water, or if you'd like to ask us anything, get in touch with us. Our email is info@itsjustashow.com. We're on Blue Sky, and we would love to hear from you. This show is made possible by listeners like you, and like our randomly selected supporter, Tim. Thank you, Tim. For about $1 an episode, you can be like Tim and help us research and record this show. You can join us in a friendly Discord, and you can listen to all our superfan bonus bits. Find out more at itsjustashow.com/Patreon or patreon.com/itsjustashow. And if you want to follow up on anything that was mentioned today, you'll find links in our show notes at itsjustashow.com/episode/189. Chris, we're moving out of our kaiju month. Happy Gamuary, everyone, as this comes to a close. How will we ring in February?
Well, we will be moving out of kaiju month, but we will not be moving out of the water. We will continue to wring out our wet clothes as we watch season 12, episode 2, Atlantic Rim.
Oh, so this was part of the gauntlet.
This was part of the gauntlet.
So I've seen it, but it's all a blur. So fun times ahead.
Yeah, we haven't done a season 12 episode in I don't know how long because there's only 6 of them.
Yeah, so you got to sprinkle them throughout, right?
Exactly. So we will be looking back at that time. And until then...
Admiral, deploy the Cheddarwurst.
Only half a cup? Don't I like my coffee? Take it away, Theme Squad. It's different. It's just different.